Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got videos today from men only. Modern women are out to end Mgtow, but it's hitting them where it hurts. Their pockets. Please like, rip them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
I know that I look crazy and it's so embarrassing to come crying on the internet,
But yet you're still doing it.
but this stuff that I have been dealing with for 2 years.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a hot topic. Modern women are out to end men going their own way, but it's hitting them where it hurts. We'll explore the efforts to counter the men going their own way movement, why it's causing such a backlash, and the broader implications for modern relationships. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Let's jump right in and break it all down.
I believe we're at a pivotal moment in Gen Z dating right now.
Okay.
I write a newsletter about youth consumer trends where I track all of these things. And this story was published in The Cut yesterday. They talk about how dating is a total nightmare, obviously, for many people right now. But they get into the fact that singles have always complained about how hard it is to meet other singles. Women in particular have reached a breaking point. I did a story at the beginning of the year where I talked to like 10 Gen Zers about why the apps were so bad. This tells a larger story. It's not just the apps. This TikToker stood up on a date. It's about how frustrated she is with dating.
It's funny that they only cover the women's stuff. Never cover the man stuff. But then I guess we don't make TikToks like this, so I guess it's...
Dating apps and trying to meet someone. Humiliated, she records this TikTok and it goes wildly viral. Sentiment shared by a lot of these women is that they have full lives. This person who's quoted here is a pastry chef. She says 90% of the things I do alone. People want a partner, but they cannot find them. This woman says that she has not been able to find men in person as men look for younger women. It's gonna go up to a scantily clad 21-year-old who's having the time of her life and not a grumpy 31-year-old.
Damn
this girl
right.
says that men are more interested in getting shit-faced in New York City, and she attributes this to like a post-pandemic thing where COVID derailed their prime sexual years, therefore they just don't want to settle down. Another woman here says that she thinks that if men have become more politically conservative, that this online network of men's rights activists are turning guys against women. So there's this confluence.
I wouldn't say I'm turning guys against women. I'm just warning guys about women. They're turning on themselves. They're turning against women on themselves because you guys are horrible.
Of apps are bad, but also men aren't interested in, settling down, and also
Yeah, the men that they want, the Chads, the Tyrones, the Pookies, the ones that they're getting on those dating apps, yes, those men don't want to settle down. You are correct.
so men are more conservative. What makes the story more interesting is that this I'm looking for a man in finance video has been going mega viral. Obviously it's super catchy, but it's more than that. I actually talked to CNBC for this story, that Lewis is me, but there's this feeling right now with the trad wife and the stay-at-home girlfriend where women are feeling so burdened. We feel like we're never going to be able to own real estate. We're going to be working forever.
Yet you guys still like to say, oh, women are the biggest demographic that own homes. But yet you're complaining about you're never going to own real estate and all this? This is fucking bullshit.
Jobs feel like they're going nowhere often, and we're exhausted.
Like, you can't praise your own sex about like being the #1 demographic of owning homes and then complain about, oh, our demographic might not be able to own property. That's fucking stupid.
And there's something about a finance guy where it feels like an unlock. How does Girl on Couch ladder up to this? Part of the reason that this sentiment resonated so much, I'm not going to recite it because it's such an earworm that it'll get stuck in your head, but we all know it. Indicative of something bigger here. As I write in my letter, men in finance are known to be appealing in only a begrudging way. They have the reputation for lacking a personality, lacking time, lacking emotional intelligence. But
yeah, no fucking shit. This is all men that you guys want. That has to be high tier men. They're all very similar. They all have very similar personalities. They have very similar traits because you need those traits to be highly successful.
They make up for it in money. And to Gen Z women specifically who are facing financial challenges like student loans, inflation, and frankly FOMO, I mean, those tickets to...
Oh my god, FOMO, guys! They can't get to go to the concerts and all the great things and the vacations like everybody else on Instagram. Oh, so sad.
The Eras Tour in Europe costs a lot. Money has become more attractive than ever, but it's not just about being rich or greed. It's about unlocking things that women want and feel like they will never be able to have. To bring it back, it'd be very interesting to see where we are in 5 years with single Gen Zers, because the oldest Gen Zers right now are like 27, the youngest are 14. How many people get married in a generation? How many people have kids? Like, those are much larger, have larger economic implications. So while these are amusing trend stories and Megan Bonnie thing is funny and a TikTok earworm, also a much larger economic story. And that's why I think TikTok trends are so interesting.
It's time for women to reevaluate their standards and their approach to dating and relationships. It's completely wild that a woman getting stood up on a date makes headlines.
Right.
While for men, this has always been part of the baseline in dating. Men are expected to face rejection and deal with it, but when women encounter the same, it's suddenly a big deal. Women created these new standards in dating and hookup culture, and now they whine when they face the consequences. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They pushed for
No, they want their cake and eat it too and not gain weight. That's what they want.
progressive feminism, and now they don't want to deal with the realities it has created. It's hypocritical and infuriating. It's interesting how, after years of progressive feminism, many women are reverting to the idea of not wanting to work and just having a man pay for everything. They create problems with their unrealistic standards and then play the victim when things don't go their way.
Yep.
It's typical. What do they expect? They set the bar ridiculously high, wanting a man in finance, 6 feet 5 inches, blue eyes, and then they're surprised there aren't enough men who meet these criteria. It's laughable.
It's funny because they only think of finance because that's probably the only thing they can think of that has a lot of money. Finance. Just like entrepreneurs.
Women have always been more materialistic, seeking partners who can unlock immediate financial benefits, rather than building something together from the ground up. It's infuriating how they blame men in society for their own unrealistic expectations and poor choices. They want successful men, but don't want to deal with what comes with it. They expect men to be perfect, without realizing that their own standards are flawed. Women need to take a hard look in the mirror and recognize that their approach is not sustainable. They can't keep blaming men and feminism for their problems while continuing to uphold these unattainable standards. They need to be realistic about what they bring to the table and what they expect from a partner. If they continue down this path, they'll end up alone and bitter, victims of their own making.
With no cats, because cats don't even want them.
Didn't like him? Why is that? Why do you say he was awful?
He was just very possessive. Yes, he had traditional views, but it was very more like, no, you are mine. Like, gross.
He didn't like that I liked to party.
Just a lot of the comments that he made were very misogynistic and very, like, not okay. Just like,
It's not okay because it hurt my feelings. It made me feel like a slut.
oh, I don't want anybody else to see your body. Just the way that it was said, I feel like is...
So he didn't want you going out partying. He wanted you to dress modestly. Were there any other things that you considered misogynistic?
Well, he for sure thinks that men are better than women. He didn't want her to have a career.
He was very fast with like talking about the future, and he was like, would you want to still work if you had children?
This guy's my hero. Like, I mean, everything that he's saying sounds awesome. I don't actually understand what the problem is. Like, he sounds great.
Yeah, I think...
She just realized, oh, fuck.
It's clear that many women have been conditioned to criminalize virtuous desires in men, which creates a toxic dating environment. The ease with which some women throw around false accusations is indeed infuriating and contributes to a climate of mistrust. They often want the best of both worlds without understanding why they can't have it both ways. Many women desire a man who respects them, yet they often struggle to reciprocate that respect. They want to be seen and admired publicly while also desiring a man who fits their often contradictory standards.
Yep.
This confusion leads to a situation where they want a man to be in control, but only in ways they dictate, which is fundamentally flawed. This issue highlights the broader problem today: women seeking everything their way without any willingness to contribute to equality.
She had a good man, a man that found her young, already planned the future, wanted to get married, talked about kids, All the things that women love to fucking bullshit about that men do. If men did this, if men could do this, if they would just talk about the future, blah, blah, fucking blah. And now when you get a man that does, he's controlling. He's misogynistic. I can't handle him. He's too much. Fuck out of here, ladies. You just don't know what the fuck is good for you.
They want all the benefits without the accompanying accountability or responsibility. The desire for a strong, protective man who they can control reveals an unrealistic expectation that is impossible to meet. These women often dream of being a queen with their man as a knight in shining armor who serves them unconditionally. This dynamic is unsustainable and often results in single motherhood, which is prevalent among many modern women. The influence of feminism has led to a mindset where many women feel entitled to perpetual benefits without any corresponding responsibilities, further damaging relationships and contributing to societal misery. Misogyny is often misused by women who don't fully understand its meaning, using it to justify their unreasonable expectations. Single women, in particular, often keep other women single by encouraging them to uphold these unrealistic standards. This is why many men are now looking for partners outside their own countries, seeking women who have not been influenced by these damaging ideologies. New Age women have become more toxic than men from any era, creating an environment where trust and respect are hard to find. The only solution is for men to stay the course and let these women live their lives without engaging in their toxic games.
Damn right.
Let them face the consequences of their choices while men seek genuine, respectful relationships elsewhere.
I really don't know when there was this shift in dating. Like in my mind, men chase women. Men chase women. Women get courted. Okay? That's the end of the story. Nothing drives me more insane than seeing these bum dudes ghost these stunning girls. This is absolutely insane. It's insane. This should not be happening, especially at the rate that this is happening. I hate the word playing games, but it's about time that these gorgeous women take that little deck of cards back into their own hands. I think a big problem.
Shut up. You think these gorgeous women actually have leverage over these gorgeous, sought-after men? They don't. These men could drop you like a rock and replace you with someone more beautiful. It's that easy for them.
Problem for this is coming on too strong too soon and worshiping these men for giving absolutely nothing. Also clinging to them and being so easily accessible. Stop saying yes to their plans if they're asking you to come over at 11 p.m. on a random Wednesday. They should be asking you on a date to go out on Thursday night, and they should have asked you that on Monday. I have tried to explain this in like a really calm, pleasant way before, but it does not seem to be getting through. Don't even give these men the...
See, look at this. These women think that them making these videos and whatever is actually going to change society. It's going to change people. I never even had the inkling that I could do that. And I'm a decent sized creator now. I just assume people are going to listen and people aren't going to listen. They're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not saying shit to think I can change the world with my words on my channel. That's crazy. Crazy.
The opportunity to ghost you because you should be dating multiple people, especially in the beginning when you're seeing somebody. There's no reason for you to be committed to them unless you're in an exclusive girlfriend-boyfriend relationship.
So you just want to be a whore.
Now, I'm not
telling everybody to be whores.
Saying that you need to sleep with multiple people. I'm not suggesting that. You can do what you want. I would literally never judge you in a million years. But you are available to date multiple people unless you're in a relationship. So stop acting like these crusty guys you owe the world to, need to drop everything every time they want to see you, deserve your time. Because the fact is, when they realize that you're so accessible 24/7, drop you like a fly. I promise you. Human nature, sadly, unfortunately, enjoys a little bit of a chase. And that's probably why you like these guys that are ghosting you, because you're making up in your head all these amazing qualities that they have that you've never even seen just because you don't know them enough. So please stop giving these crusty men the time of day. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends, enjoy dating multiple people. Don't cling on to guys too fast, and just be smart about this. You need to drop a guy. You need to just drop him if he's doing these things. Okay, trust me. If he's only texting you late at night to see you, not asking you on real dates,
The projection is just so unreal. It's obvious that you've experienced these things. That's why you know these things in such detail.
and if he hasn't spoken to you in 2 weeks, no text, no call, no. If he's on his phone a lot when you're together, also no. I could literally tell you 1,000 more, but the thing
You could say the exact same thing to women, and most women would be disqualified immediately about the phone thing. So shut the fuck up.
that I really want you to take away from this video is that you're valuable and you do not need to be desperately clinging to these men that don't deserve you. Thanks.
We've all heard about the sexual revolution and how women became liberated. But what did that really mean for relationships? Essentially, the price of intimacy dropped. Men learned that it was easier to hit and quit rather than commit to a relationship. The quality of women willing to engage in long-term relationships has severely declined.
It has declined until you hit the 30s. When you get women in their 30s, all of them want relationships. It's a big difference, except they're probably not going to get it.
Many women call themselves feminists, but they still want men to uphold traditional roles. Why should men have to be traditional when women aren't? There's a glaring double standard at play. Women expect men to commit 100% of their resources, but they don't want to commit to traditional roles themselves. Why don't these women hold...
They can't even commit one dick. Like, you commit your resources, they can't even commit to one dick. That's how bad it is for these ladies.
Hold themselves to the same standards they expect from men. They want it both ways, and it's just not fair. If there's no reason for women to commit to men, why should men go all in financially?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, modern women seem to respond more to toxic relationships. They're often chasing the same type of guys, finding excitement in toxicity rather than stability. Meanwhile, men who would treat them better remain invisible. It's only when these women get older and the players lose interest that they start noticing the good guys. Today's women often have bad attitudes and a lack of morals, no matter how good they look. Men are waking up to this reality. Women need to start taking accountability for their actions if they want men to chase them. Right now, the majority of women aren't worth courting. They become the prize for the men they don't actually want, leaving men feeling tired and disillusioned. In the end, men are fed up with the current dating scene. They don't want to deal with women who have bad attitudes,
Hell no.
lack morals, and offer nothing beyond.
That's why I tell you guys, I will go down on freaking looks for the attitude, and everything else about that person. If she's nice to me, she treats me well, she wants to do things for me, I'll go down on looks.
Their looks. Women need to start taking accountability if they want to see a change. Until then, men will continue to choose the single life over dealing with the frustrations of modern dating.
It's just like how women, I can't find my standards. Men are like, oh yeah, your standards are too high. I don't want to deal with it either. Either way, both sexes are just not dealing with each other because of whatever reason.
If my boyfriend asks me to marry him, I'm going to say no. Why am I going to say no? Because we started dating 5 years ago, and then a month after we started dating, his friend started dating his girlfriend, and they had a kid after 2 years of being together. We had our daughter after 4 years of being together.
Okay.
His friend pays all the bills in their home. We pay 50-50. His friend...
The thief of joy. Comparison, right? She thinks that that person lives a better life, but she probably doesn't know what the fuck that woman does.
Got engaged last year. And we haven't gotten engaged. His friend got married this past weekend. And the crazy thing is that when we started talking, he said, if we last a year, I'd like to get married and try for a baby. So a year came by, nothing. Then he said, well, maybe after 3 years, let's look at it like a lease payment.
So you're not a great partner / girlfriend / whatever it is because he didn't wife you up right away. He even gave you the option and then extended it. That means you were either he was fucking with you, possible, or you never met his standards and you continue to still not meet his standards.
You get 3 years. 3 years came by. Nothing. Then he said maybe 5. 5 is a big deal. Bet. 5 came. Nothing. So I got tired of dropping hints. Got tired of sending ring photos. And I was just hoping that it would happen. So he
maybe try to do things to be a good wife, you know, instead of just nagging and fucking hinting the shit out of this man.
goes to his friend's wedding this weekend. And I'm hoping that it would be a motivator. But to be honest, at this point, I don't even care. Like, I really don't care. Like, the magic of the idea of how he would propose and all of that, it's like, if you had that much doubt about marrying me, now I have these doubts. Like, why? What do you need? What's not enough? Shoot, I know
You're barely starting to think about that now. It's been 5 years.
I'm enough. You're not about to make me feel insecure. So he says, well, I made you the mother of my first and only child, and that should be good enough because that's a big deal. That's forever. And yeah, it's a big deal. That's forever. But like, damn, I'm good enough to be your baby mama, but I'm not good enough to be your wife.
Yep, pretty much.
So at this point, I'm like, if he proposes, I'm going to say no.
He's not going to
Why?
propose.
Because if it took him so long and he had so many doubts, he thinks it's all under his control, his power. Like, when I feel like it, that's when I'm going to propose and she's just going to say yes. No. I have
Well, he does control that.
some say too. I have some say too. And
Yeah, go try to
I
marry
can say
somebody
no.
else then.
Just because you propose doesn't mean I'm going to say yes. Like, for me to say yes, he's going to have to pull off a really, really, really nice proposal. Like, something super romantic. Like, Backstreet Boys in the background. Flower petals.
You hear this shit? Just... The woman doesn't even seem like she reciprocates properly, but yet still is expecting the world when it comes to a wedding and the proposal.
Pink flower petals. Maybe a violinist.
You're putting him on blast on the
on
internet?
the beach. Or in front of the castle at Magic Kingdom with fireworks in the background. Something.
The shit these
Something.
women think of.
Something to make it feel like it was worth waiting. Damn near 6 years, because we're about to be together for 6 years come this July.
And what is that paper wedding marriage actually going to do or change the relationship? Other than a piece of paper and a ring.
So come
and the chance of
July,
you taking him
and there's
for
no
all of his
proposal,
resources.
I'm going to say no. If he ever asks. And if he doesn't ask,
Yeah, she thinks she's in control. If he ever asks, I want to say no.
guess I'm just his baby mom.
First off, let's address the elephant in the room, comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, is a saying for
Man only is me, and man only thought the exact same shit.
a reason. The moment she started comparing herself to her boyfriend's friend and his wife, she set herself up for disappointment. It's easy to look at someone else's life and think they have it all, but we rarely see the full picture. Throughout the entire video, she insists she doesn't care about getting married anymore. But let's be honest, she clearly cares. Her feelings are hurt, and she's jealous. Not only is she jealous of his friend's new wife, but she's also frustrated that her boyfriend isn't the man she wants him to be.
Yep.
She keeps comparing her relationship to theirs, which is a huge problem. This brings us to a critical point. She's blaming her boyfriend for not living up to her expectations, but she's not taking responsibility for her own happiness. She's been with him for 5 years and feels like she's just a baby mama. If that's not what she wants, why has she stayed in the relationship?
Yep.
It's easy to point fingers, but she needs to look at her own choices too. And then there's the lavish proposal she's dreaming of. Sure, everyone wants a memorable proposal, but when you make it all about a grand gesture, you lose sight of what's really important, the commitment and love behind it. Maybe her boyfriend hasn't proposed because he feels the pressure of her high expectations. If she wants a proposal, she should focus on building a strong, supportive relationship rather than demanding a fairy tale. And here's another harsh truth. She's jealous of his friend's wife, but what does that really say about her? Jealousy often reveals some women's own insecurities. Instead of blaming her boyfriend or his friend's wife, she should take a hard look at herself and figure out why she's feeling this way. Is it because she's not happy with herself?
Like, the woman might be gorgeous as fuck and does everything for her husband. That's why she gets fully taken care of. Like, this is the stupid thing that women always compare each other to. Sometimes that woman is so gorgeous that you can't even compare, but all women are 10s, right? So you think you qualify for the exact same thing she did, but you don't even know what she did and how she qualified for it.
For her own life choices. Blaming others is easy, but it doesn't solve anything. Lastly, let's address the expectations she has. She wants her boyfriend to be someone he's not. If she's not happy with who he is after 5 years, maybe it's time for her to move on instead of trying to change him. It's not fair to him, and it's not fair to her. Relationships are about accepting and loving each other for who you are, not trying to mold someone into your ideal partner.
I turn 29 in a few days, and I am very single. I just have heard a lot of conversations lately about the dating culture, particularly here in Melbourne. I go on dates. I enjoy it. Dealt a lot of rejection. And after a while, you start to question what it is about yourself. There's only so many times that you can hear, "You're great," but to wonder what it is about me, you know? I so badly want someone to share life with, and my heart is constantly open. A lot of people in my life.
You lying? You know the word. Because if you were really looking for those things, you would have found it. There's plenty of men that'll give you exactly what you're talking about. But you're not looking for that. You're looking for the top tier man to give you that. That's the problem you're having.
I have said, just take a break. That could be what I need to do. I won't get out what I want unless I put in the work. Maybe he's out there. Maybe you're watching Man of Melbourne, 29 and above. You know, it's a really cool tradie. Maybe he plays AFL. I don't know. You never know the power of the internet, and I have hope, and I hope that he is out there. If you're watching, or if you know someone who should be watching, slide in. I don't know. Oh.
First off, let's ask a critical question. What exactly do modern women bring to the table? Many women today are held hostage by their own unrealistic choices. They've told men they don't need them, proclaiming they are strong, independent women who can do it all without a man. This mindset has led to a significant shift in dating dynamics. Remember the movements that highlighted how men supposedly didn't take no for an answer? These movements led to men facing severe consequences, with some even going to jail because of the #MeToo movement. Women demanded respect and wanted men to stop approaching them constantly. So, men listened. They respected these wishes and went on their way, finding women with different, more approachable attitudes. The core issue here is mixed messages. Women need to make up their minds about what they really want in life. They need to communicate honestly with men and tell them what they're looking for. Mixed messages just don't work.
Nope.
Men are left confused, unsure of whether to be traditional providers or to treat women as entirely independent equals. The proclamation of independence and the demand for respect have had unintended consequences. Men have adapted by seeking out relationships with women who have clearer expectations and more cooperative attitudes. Modern women, meanwhile, find themselves trapped by the very standards they set. They wanted independence and respect, but now they struggle with the lack of traditional commitment from men. In the end, women need to reevaluate their expectations and communicate clearly with men. If they want traditional relationships, They need to bring traditional values to the table. Men are tired of the mixed signals and the unrealistic demands. It's time for a genuine conversation about what both sides want and need.
So I've been seeing this stuff going around social media where one minute ladies want to be independent, do their own thing, and then the next they want a man to take care of them.
Yep.
So my question is, women, as a collective, what do we really want? We keep saying we fighting for equality, which I don't know why. We already have equality. There's no reason to fight for something we already have, because the women before us already did that. So we fought for equality, and we were saying we were so oppressed and we couldn't work and the man wouldn't let us do anything. Now we're able to work, and now a man say, hey, you work now, you should
Now the patriarchy is oppressing them because they have to work.
Contribute to the household. Now it's, why do I have to contribute? Another thing that's annoying, why is, as black people, we're always comparing ourselves to other races?
True.
Stop acting like black men are the only ones asking for a woman to help out in the household.
I hear that from black women a lot. And black women are kind of dumb for thinking that, because look at Asian households. Asian households, if you even looked at any of them, especially immigrant Asian household, the wife and the husband work just as hard as each other.
That is not the case. How many times you seen other race of women helping out in the household or helping out outside the household? So we have to choose. Either we want to work and be independent and help out, or we want to be oppressed and sit at home and cook and clean.
True.
It's clear that many women today want the best of both worlds, a grizzly bear and a man who can protect and provide, while also being sensitive and catering to their every emotional whim. Their feelings dictate their expectations, which often leads to wildly unrealistic standards. These women often want a man who is tough and rugged, yet also emotionally available and understanding. They seek a partner who can dominate the world and then come home to be a loving, attentive partner who fulfills their every emotional need.
That's the problem a lot of women have, right? They think that, they see me, I'm a busy guy, I run a few businesses. Oh, he's the guy I want. But he's too busy for me. He doesn't even give me much attention, and he's like not as like doting on me as the other men. Well, you wanted a man that has drive and ambition. A man with drive and ambition ain't gonna fucking take care of these little aspects of your happiness.
This is a fantasy that rarely, if ever, exists in reality. The problem is that their feelings and desires are constantly shifting. One day, they might want a strong, silent type, and the next, they might crave someone who can talk about their feelings for hours.
This is because of birth control right here. Right? Birth control really fucked women up on this, where they, in one moment, they want this type of man, another moment, they want this type of man. It's because their hormones are so fucked.
This inconsistency makes it nearly impossible for any man to meet their expectations, leading to a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. It's no wonder that so many men are opting out of the dating scene altogether. They see the impossible standards set by women and realize that no matter how hard they try, they will never be enough. This constant shifting of expectations and reliance on feelings over rational thought creates a no-win situation for men. Women need to take a hard look at their expectations and realize that no man can be everything they want all the time.
Nope.
They need to understand that relationships are about compromise, mutual respect, and realistic expectations.
To me, it's more about mutual goals. If you both want kids, you both want a family, you both want these things, you both are good savers, you're going to do fine. You're going to do fine because you both want the same things in life. If one person wants material things and another person wants a family, it's never going to happen.
Until they do, they will continue to set themselves up for disappointment and loneliness. By blaming men for not meeting their ever-changing standards, they are missing the point. The issue lies in their own unrealistic expectations and their inability to understand that relationships require effort and compromise from both sides. Until they can come to terms with this, they will continue to be dissatisfied and alone, living with their cats and wondering where all the good men have gone.
This is a list of jobs that my future husband cannot have. Number one, I've realised recently, is a police officer. I cannot have a police officer, and purely on the fact that What do you mean you are handcuffing another woman? What do you mean? Sorry, no, thank you.
What?
Number 2, quite obviously, is I don't want my future husband to have the job.
Wait, just because he's handcuffing women is a problem to you? What if the woman is a bad woman that needs to be handcuffed? What the fuck?
Job title as a masseuse or a massage therapist or someone who massages. Sorry, why are you touching other women? Why are you doing that?
It's his profession. So you don't want a gynecologist either, or a doctor, because he's going to see other women?
No, thank you. Number 3 is someone who works in customer service. Sorry, you're talking to other women? No, honey, you're not. You cannot do that, sorry. Number 4 is a firefighter. I really used to love firefighters, but recently, no thank you, because what do you mean you're saving other women? What do you mean you're rescuing other women and putting them over your shoulder? Sorry, no. Sorry.
Women are the most selfish creatures ever. You don't even want your husband to save anybody? Or even if it's his job? Jeez.
Not happening. Number 5 is pretty much any job that you have to work with other people. No. You can be
That's
a
like
businessman
every job.
who works on his own. That's literally the only job title. Unfortunately, I will. Or if you work with other men, fine. I'll let you off on that one. I'll let you off. But if a woman comes around
and we can't even say they can't have freaking male friends. They want us to not even fucking talk to freaking other women, period.
Unfortunately, you have to quit the job.
With this mindset and her laundry list of expectations, she has already set herself up for disappointment. It's clear that many women today have unrealistic standards that no man can meet. They want a man who is tall, wealthy, handsome, and perfect in every way, without considering what they themselves bring to the table. Living with these unattainable expectations will only lead to a life of loneliness and regret. These women are chasing an ideal that doesn't exist, and in the process, they are missing out on genuine connections and relationships. They are setting themselves up for a life of living with cats, lamenting their poor choices, and wondering why they can't find a good man. It's time for a reality check. Women need to understand that no one is perfect and that relationships require compromise and realistic expectations. Instead of holding out for a fantasy, they should focus on finding a partner who shares their values and goals, someone they can build a life with.
And same thing with you guys. Just find someone you can build a life with. Build your goals. Maybe they're not the most beautiful woman, but as long as they take care of you, they love you, they're willing to take care of the kids, they listen, they're not fucking trying to nag you every time you come home. And just live a happy life, guys. It's miserable out there being alone, for men or women.
By clinging to these absurd standards, they are ensuring their own unhappiness. They need to let go of the fairy tale and embrace the real world, where relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and effort.
Shout outs to Mano. It's really the I want my cake and eat it too, and not gain any weight and not have anybody judge me on eating my cakes. That's exactly what women are wanting. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.